นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังกุณุตรังอุปัชฌายังนามาสามิ So to begin with, may I express my respect and admiration for all of the senior bhikkhus here, beginning with Luang Por Pasano, my appreciation for all the members of the Sangha, and my blessings for all the lay community. So I've been struggling with a cough and sore throat now for some while, so if my voice suddenly starts going a bit funny, please bear with me. So I'm very happy to be here this morning and to participate in the inauguration of this beautiful cluster of buildings. And I was here the last time, almost 5 years ago, for the Katina, and then there was just a retaining wall here, so huge changes. And so this is just one more episode in a long and fruitful relationship between, for me at least, between myself and this monastery, and especially Luang Por Pasano. Yes, I met Luang Por Pasano for the first time in 1979. And Ajahn Chad instructed me to accompany an Australian bhikkhu who needed an operation to Bangkok. And so I stayed in a monastery on one side of the river, and then every morning I'd catch the ferry over to the other side and spend the day in the hospital. And I heard that Ajahn Pasano was coming, and I'd never met him before. It was a year he was on Tudong. And of course, as an anagarika, you have money, so the first thing you want to know, what does he like? Is there something I can get him and give him? And he said he likes namtan beet, which is basically poison, but it's redeemed by its sweetness. And so I bought him a big bag of this, and so that was my first meeting with him in a hospital. And afterwards, as a young bhikkhu, he was my teacher. I took Nisai with him. And then in 1986, just before the beginning of the Rains Retreat, I returned to Wat Nanachat after my own Tudong. Is it not loud enough? This one's loud. Okay. Can everyone hear okay? Can you hear? Can you hear outside? Yes, okay. So I returned to assist him as the second monk. I don't want to call myself the vice abbot, it doesn't sound very virtuous. And stayed with him and helped him as best I could for a number of years. And I think we can say that we have together realized one of the kind of holy grails of spiritual practice, this balance of effort and relaxation. Basically, he puts forth effort and I relax. And it's been like that for the past many years now. And since he has been working so hard here, he's been making so much merit, and then I've developed this practice of rejoicing in his merit, which also suits my personality very much.
And so they're my lay supporters and from Thailand have been with me, and they've also had the opportunity to offer donations to contribute to the building of this beautiful structures that you see around us. So, and some of them are here today, and so that's an added joy for me. And yes, and this kind of gathering, you meet old friends and old memories come up. And the first time I came to this part of the world was in 1991, and I traveled up from Los Angeles with an old villager who was one of our main supporters at Wat Pah Nanachat for many years, Paul Pon. And we fulfilled a childhood dream of mine and drove up on Highway 1, and then we met up with Lumpur Sumeto in San Francisco, and then we drove up to the city of 10,000 Buddhas in Daniel Barnes' car. And I remember it was very hot, and we were having to tip ice water on Daniel Barnes' back to keep him cool, because he has no kind of internal thermostat, if anyone can remember him driving that way. And so when I got to the city of 10,000 Buddhas for Lumpur Sumeto's retreat, it was just wonderful. The weather was fantastic, and we had this agreement where I would return after the first half of this 10-day retreat, and then Lumpur flew out to participate in the second half of the retreat. And the moment I left, the thermometer soared to about 100 or 104. 115, yeah. So, yeah. So this is the story of our relationship. I just get all the easy, sabai kind of experiences, and he does all the hard work and suffers, and at least physically, yeah. So then so fast forward a few years, mid-90s, and I flew into Boston with a young novice called Siripanyo. And yeah, what does that mean? Yeah. So I had this idea, very frustrated even in those days with the Thai education system, and particularly the fact that anybody with sufficient funds would either send their child to a Catholic school, very few international schools in those days, or if they were particularly wealthy, to England or America. So it seemed to me that leaders of the government, although nominally Buddhist, didn't really know much about Buddhism at all. So I had this plan, and I came to Boston, and after some time I took a whole group of Thai students from Harvard and MIT and UPenn, all these other places, and we went on a walking retreat in Arcadia. One, because I like the name, and two, because it's kind of rolling, gentle hills, not too strenuous, which I don't think the Thai students would appreciate so much. And so although we were camping, the meditation was not particularly intense. We sat outside the tents together in the morning and the evening, and then during the day we went walking, and it was a time to speak and to answer questions in a more informal kind of way. I don't think any of them would have been interested in formal meditation retreats at the end of a long, hard term of study. So now those days, I was quite strict. I mean, reasonably strict about many things, but I hardly ever would eat out of my bowl. So it happened that about the last day, for some reason or other, it just wasn't convenient to have to eat out of our bowl, and we ate in a restaurant. and it was outside, and it was in this beautiful valley, and you could see a beautiful landscape. And I remember this so clearly because we were sitting there, myself and the novice Siripanyo, and the waiter came and he put 2 plates. It's kind of feeling a sort of kind of illicit, kind of edgy thing to do, to eat out of plates, already. But, he put the plates down, and then the waiter looked at us and he said, "Enjoy." I thought, what? This is just a totally kind of bizarre thing that anybody. What, he's telling me to enjoy it, or is this a instruction, or it's sort of very different to the way that Thai people offer food to monks, and so this whole question of enjoyment neatly, I hope, links to my present feeling here so many years later. And when we use the word enjoy, as experience with joy, then I found, I really like this. I like enjoying things, but I really like this word because I think it's a very good word to use in our practice and in meditation. Because often our feelings about things are affected, perhaps more than we might think, by the words that we choose to use to describe them. So, for instance, let's say the word concentrate on your breath. I think for a lot of people, kind of stiffness, it's kind of, hard work. But if you just change that and say, enjoy your breath, okay, just sit there and enjoy your inhalation and enjoy your exhalation for 20 minutes. Whole different feeling, isn't it, than concentrate on your breath. It feels like hard work. But really, that's what you're doing. If you're concentrating, that usually means that you start like staring at your breath, and then your mind becomes very kind of stiff and dull. But if you're enjoying your breath, you just use enjoy like this sala. It's not like a sensual, indulgent kind of mental state. It's just a sort of like a very clear-sighted appreciation of the good qualities of something. Like Luang Por Dhamma was talking about in his discourse. And so you say, just enjoy the whole duration of an in-breath, and enjoy the whole duration of an out-breath. Just a different word can, I think, make such a change. Can it not? So we're here to enjoy ourselves, basically, and it's a strange thing in Thailand. If people go off, you say, I'm really stressed out, I'm going to go, got some money together, I'm going to the seaside, or I'm going to go down shopping in Singapore or something like that. If they've got some money, and people say, yeah, go for it, you really deserve a rest. And then somebody else says, I'm really stressed out, I think I'm going to go to a monastery and practice, on retreat for a while. Well, that's a selfish thing to do. So it's completely selfless to go shopping or sunbathing, but it's selfish to go to a monastery. So we have this kind of weird mixture of right view and wrong view in Thailand, which has its own particular charm. But anyway, when people say, what do I say when people say I'm just selfish and just interested in my own spiritual, not concerned with anybody else, or what do I say when people, make fun of me for keeping precepts or something like this? Just say, I really enjoy it. I go to a monastery because I enjoy it. I keep precepts because I enjoy keeping precepts. We all want to be happy. We're all looking for same thing. We're just looking for it in different ways. So, in most societies, in Thailand, for instance, like it's easier to be intelligent as a woman than it is as a man, because of if you're a man and you get stressed out, you can go and get drunk and do all these kind of things. Well, that's what men do. But there's still this kind of, in Thailand at least, these kind of social taboos for women, which pushes them to more intelligent ways of dealing with suffering. And this is the reason why more women go to monasteries than men. At least that's what I think. So yeah, I mean, we can enjoy these things, and often talking about precepts these days, and if you compare the role of precepts and commandments in faith-based religions, then this is like a reward and punishment system. You do these good things, you get a reward usually after you die, and if you do the bad things, then you get punished. But in Buddhism, we don't have that kind of way of looking at morality. Basically, morality is in social intelligence. We start off with a question: what are the basic requisites or fundamental needs of all human beings living in families and societies for them to be happy and to flourish as human beings? So, first answer, I think, is sense of safety, free from fear, fearlessness. And so, how do we go about that? How do we go about creating families and communities which are free from fear? Well, we take basic human psychology, the nature of a human being, and recognize that we can accomplish certain things with willpower and the power of intention. So we can, for instance, refrain from killing, stealing, and so on as an act of will. But we can't refrain from the mental qualities, the mental defilements that lead us to act in those ways. So the Buddha talked about the great dana. So we have like material dana, offering food and material things, or offering sangha dwellings and so on. But Buddha said the great dana is when you say to people, I still get angry, I still get irritated with you, I love you very much, but sometimes I really just like to hit you, sometimes I just feel so angry with you, but I promise that no matter how angry that I ever get with you, I will never abuse you physically or verbally. Now, I think that that's practical and realistic standard. So it's not that you become a Buddhist and you say, from now on I'm just going to have loving kindness and compassion for all sentient beings. I'm going to turn over a new leaf. You can't do that because the habits and the perceptions and the thoughts, these are too deeply ingrained to respond to that kind of determination. But you can make a determination not to act upon those impulses. And similarly, you can say, I still get greedy, I still see nice things, and I have desires for them, but I promise you that I will never take anything that doesn't belong to me. You have a partner, you're married, you have a stable relationship, and you say, yeah, every now and again I feel attracted to other people, I find them beautiful or handsome, I feel some sexual fear, but I promise you that I will never act upon, I will never speak but with those intentions. I will never feed them, I will never act upon them, and I will never lie to you. Even though sometimes I'm ashamed or embarrassed, or I want something, or I want to get rid of something, I won't lie to you. So when you say this to people, then, and you promise this to the people around you, you give them the gift of fearlessness. You give them freedom from fear. They feel safe. And Buddha said, this is something that we can all give to people, anybody. You can give that gift of safety, or feeling of safety. But of course, if you drink, if you take drugs, then you can't make a full-hearted promise, because when you take those substances, your sense of right and wrong, your sense restraint become inhibited, compromised. And so if you say, well, whenever I don't drink or I don't take drugs, all those times, you can feel completely safe. But if I drink, or it's like all bets are off. So it doesn't work. So to make this promise and this gift, this true gift of safety and freedom from fear to those around you, then the fifth precept is very important. So keeping precepts is one part of the practice. It doesn't mean that we're repressing the impulses that lead us to break precepts, but at the same time we're developing mindfulness, we're developing loving kindness, we're developing patience, developing equanimity. All of these practices supporting our intention and our commitment to creating a fearless environment, an environment where everyone feels safe and when everyone trusts each other. So, as lay people, when you look at monks' life, often you think, oh, they give up this and they give up that, and they don't have this and they don't have that. But we feel we gain so much, and maybe it's not visible to lay community. But let me relate to like a Thai idiom. In Thai, we say there are two kinds of friends. There are eat friends and die friends. So an eat friend is someone who'll eat with you, and particularly if you're paying. But when times get tough, they disappear. But a die friend is someone who would die for you. And you might think, as a layperson, if you had a friend who would die for you and you would die for them, maybe you'd be very fortunate in your life to maybe find 2 or 3 people like that, perhaps. But as a monk, you look and you think, every single person, every single member of the Sangha here, they're die friends. You die for them and they die for you, without any question. And if they didn't, I'd be a bit disappointed in them. Maybe 1 or 2 of them might not. But generally, I think, we have this incredible sense of shared sila, shared morality, and shared vision of life and aspiration, and all working towards a common goal. And so today we're coming together and we're celebrating this inauguration of these beautiful buildings. But the real thing that's being built here is the monastic community. These are secondary. These are creating the best possible conditions to support that training and to support the study, the practice, hopefully the realization and the propagation of the Dhamma. But really it begins and ends with the monastic community. And so I think that coming here today is not just appreciating the buildings, but appreciating the Sangha as well, and in particular the leader of the Sangha, Lumpur Pasano. So the Lumpur is going to be leaving shortly, and he's going to be away for a year, and then he's going to come back and in a slightly different role, sort of elder statesman. Would that be probably the Eminence Grise? And Ajahn Kruniko and Ajahn Yaniko will be running the monastery. So the number, is that correct? Kruniko, what did I say? Kruniko, wow. I was just focusing on the karuna rather than the suffix. Yes, so the first thing, I have a request for everyone, monks and lay people, please do not compare them to Lumpur Pasano. Yeah, this number one thing to do and not to do. And they're just growing into this role. So they're going to make mistakes and do things you don't really like, and then you think, it's not the same as when Luang Por Pasano is. Maybe I ought to go somewhere else. Don't do that. Just stick in there and come more often than you did before, and let them see that your devotion is to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha rather than to any particular individual. And this is a very important part of our tradition. And one of the things that I think we all appreciated so much in Luang Por Chah, I mean, not all arahants are charismatic. If you were like personality traits don't change through enlightenment. So if you're a very inarticulate, unenlightened person, you become an inarticulate arahant. If you become if you're a grumpy lay person, you actually can be quite a grumpy arahant. Yeah, really. So. So what was I going to say? Yeah, it's like this. I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now. Ajahn Chah, yes. He was, well, of all the things to forget, that's probably the most embarrassing. Yes, Ajahn Chah, he was a charismatic disciple of the Buddha, charismatic arahant, and his brother once said to me, he says, it's not like he's really handsome, but once he's in the room, you just can't take your eyes off him. That's sort of the essence of charisma. But he did everything in his power to downplay that rather than to play upon it. And he constantly directing the interest and the devotion of the lay community towards Sangha rather than to him as an individual. And he was distinguished by his efforts to create a structure that would outlive him and that would not depend upon his own barami. And so this is our tradition. We put our faith in the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha rather than in particular individuals, no matter how much we love them and how much we owe to them. And and every year where Wat Pah Pong, when they have these annual gatherings, and a number of times I've given talks and they say, like Ajahn Chah's left us and they left us all alone. And in the early days you got this kind of feeling from people, and I said, no, Ajahn Chah's not left us, but a lot of you have left Ajahn Chah. And are you practicing the things that he taught you to practice? Are you abandoning the things he taught you to abandon? Are you developing the things he taught you to develop or not? Maybe not. So you've left Ajahn Chah. So Luang Por Pasano has been given so many teachings over the years. So when he's gone, just make sure that you bear them in mind and practice what he taught you. Otherwise, I miss Ajahn Pasano so much. He's gone, and I used to be here when we saw him. We just had this feeling of kind of warmth, and I just felt so good when I see his smiling face as we walk into the moment. Yeah, he's got a smile on his face. This particular kind of chuckle he has. Yeah, this is why this Dhamma seat is this way, so I'm not looking at him when I'm saying it. So really put a lot of effort as lay supporters into the Sangha and this monastery over the coming year and years, so that Luang Por doesn't have to worry himself. He's not a great worrier, but not even giving him the opportunity to worry and to really give that kind of support to the new regime, if you like, dual abbots. So that's two jewels of the Sangha who are just going into this process. I mean, like Ajahn Pasana was the abbot, and I was the second monk. But we we worked together as quite a good team. I mean, towards in the 90s, we were even ending each other's sentences. Yeah, I mean, not in the way that married couples do, but like he would go off on retreat, and I would be sentenced to a year as the senior monk of Nanachart, and he would come back and end my sentence, and then I'd go away, and a sort of a year later come back and end his sentence. So we ended each other's sentences in a very nice way. In fact, I was a kind of reluctant abbot. I was never legally the abbot. Ajahn Pasana was the abbot of Wat Nanachart from 1996 to 2002. I mean, at least, so I was always the acting abbot or the residing senior monk, and I sort of survived as the abbot. I think I probably give myself a B. I was like quite some B pluses every now and again, quite a lot of B minuses. Actually, I don't know if anybody know the difference between a C plus and a B minus. This is a doubt in my mind, but I think it might have dipped into a C plus every now and then. But B minus sounds better. Keep it within the B's, and so now I'm sort of in this relaxing anumodana mood where other people do all the hard work, and I just sit back and enjoy it. But the practice of enjoying your life, relies on goodness and the practice of goodness. And there is this insidious belief, and it's spread into Thailand, its tentacles spread into Thailand, that good people are kind of naive, and unscrupulous evil people are smarter than good people. And like we say the devil has the best tunes, and if you literature and movies and theatre, then it's usually the bad guys who are like the really intriguing and interesting ones, and it's very difficult to write a good person in a novel or in a play, because goodness is presented as kind of boring. So you have these kind of conflicted heroes, have a dark side, because that makes them interesting. But this is one way, I think, in which fiction misrepresents reality. I mean, in many ways, it's more accurate representation of reality than what we call the news. But in real life, evil people are not interesting and intriguing and fascinating, and good people are not boring and bland. I mean, just look around you. You know enough good people to be able to see whether you agree with me. There's nothing so beautiful as goodness, and nothing so inspiring. And if you can just open it's not like Pollyanna or just positive thinking. This is opening your eyes to what's going on around you. There's so much goodness. And I was just telling someone, I was walking through the Indian countryside about 6 months ago on Tudong. And it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, very foggy and cold, and I'd lost my hat, and I emerged from the fog close to a town, and these two ladies, middle-aged, middle-class ladies, walked towards me, and it must have been quite a shock. I mean, I imagine they walk that road every morning. Suddenly, out of the blue, a monk and a Western monk, and the lady just looked at me, and she pointed to her head, and she said, what she was telling me was, put something on your head, you're going to catch a cold. And I was so moved by that, because there was absolutely nothing in it for her. It was just out of the blue. just to see someone with a bare head in a very cold, like 5, 6, 7 degrees centigrade and fog, and she was worried that I would catch cold, and she's not going to see me again. I mean, it's not going to kind of give her the germs or something like that. So, and this is not like a very special, unusual occurrence, is it? I'm sure every one of you can come up with a whole list of these kinds of small acts of kindness and altruism, and this is not boring or bland. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, and enjoy that, and enjoy your own goodness. And there's this weird kind of thing, like if people decide to do something good. Okay, in Thailand we have this beautiful idiom like putting gold leaf on the back of the Buddha. So you're going to do this really good selfish thing, and you spend all day, and your mind's in this really bright, clear, happy state of mind, and then suddenly this little thought comes up in your head. It's, well, I'm just going to get so much praise for this, or people are really going to, Okay, that's just one defiled or unwholesome mental state, but so many people will just jump on and there, see, that's what you're really doing it for, isn't it? Be honest, be authentic, And this kind of prioritizing of unwholesome mental states over wholesome mental states is just so irrational. Why is one single bad thought more real and who you really are than all the preceding wholesome thoughts and succeeding wholesome thoughts? Doesn't make sense. So this is why we have these noble treasures of the heart. When you've done good things and when you've seen good things, remember them. If you've had a really some wonderful meal, or you've done all this kind of enjoyed all these kind of sensual pleasures, and then you get really depressed or down, or you're sick, and you bring to your mind the pleasure of these kind of sensual pleasures. It doesn't do anything, does it? Doesn't help you. But if you bring to mind goodness that you performed, or goodness you've seen performed, or the virtues of great monks and nuns and people you look up to, it does. It's a resource that we can draw upon. Similarly, in meditation practice, if you're plugging away at anapanasati, and your mind's getting a bit stale and dull and losing its zest and interest and energy, then bring to mind these acts of goodness that you've seen or that you've performed yourself, and immediately your mind will become bright and happy. So we have within us this capacity to create wholesome mental states through observation, memorization and recollection of the good. So we're coming here today, aren't we, to celebrate goodness and to celebrate this little outpost of Buddha Dhamma in North America. So it's a wonderful thing, and yes, please enjoy it. So I'd like to say a few words in Thai. Is that all right? Just at the end of the okay. แล้ววันนี้เราก็ได้มีโอกาส ฉลองศาลาและ อาคารต่างๆที่ท่านสร้างมาด้วยความ ตั้งอกตั้งใจความอดทนความใจเย็นโดยใช้เวลาหลายปีแล้วที่น่าสังเกตว่าวัดนี้ไม่มีการเรียรัยใช่ไหมไม่มีการขอร้องไม่มีความเดือดร้อนว่าจะต้องเสร็จภายในกี่เดือนกี่ปีแล้วแต่เพราะ สิ่งที่ต้องการคือไม่ใช่ว่าต้องการผลการกระทำอย่างเดียวแต่ต้องการให้ตัวการกระทำมันดีถ้าหากว่าเราอนุโลมในการกระทำเพื่อผลดีในที่สุดผลมันก็ไม่ดีเหมือนที่คิดแต่เมื่อ ผลที่ทำทุกก้าวที่เดินด้วยความจริงใจด้วยความบริสุทธิ์ใจด้วยความศรัทธาแล้วพอออกมาแล้วแหมมันน่าชื่นใจมากแล้วอาตมาว่าอาคารทางศาสนาในทั่วโลกทุกศาสนาเนี่ยจะมีสองประเภทอาตมาเรียกว่าประเภทว้าวกับประเภทนี่ถ้าดูแบบคาทีดรัลแล้วดูอาคารสูงๆหรือว่าอะไรที่มันใช้งบประมาณหลายร้อยล้านอะไรเงี้ยมันดูว้าวคือมันหายใจไม่ออกแต่ถ้าเป็นอาคารอีกแบบหนึ่งอย่างของพุทธศาสนาดั้งเดิมเนี่ยมันไม่ได้คิดว่าว้าวกันนี่แหละคือศาสนาของเรานี่แหละคือความเรียบง่ายนี่แหละคือความสงบร่มเย็นนี่แหละคือความประณีตนี่แหละคือคุณค่าที่เราบูชาเชิดชูอยู่ในจิตใจของเราทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างชวนให้เราระลึกถึงคุณงามความดีระลึกพอเราเข้ามาในอาคารอย่างนี้มันก็ว้าวไม่ใช่มันรู้สึกว่าแม่อยากทำวัดสวดมนต์แม่อยากนั่งสมาธิใช่ไหมมองรอบตัวแล้วมีสิ่งที่ทำให้จิตใจเราเย็นเราสบายมองฝีมือกันเราก็รู้ว่าไม่ว่าการออกแบบไม่ว่าการทำงานทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างเนี่ยทำโดยความตั้งอกตั้งใจจริงๆคือถ้าเรามองสิ่งรอบตัวแล้วเห็นความตั้งใจความประณีตความศรัทธาไปรู้สึกว่าเราได้รับธรรมะอยู่ตลอดเวลาไม่ใช่เฉพาะเวลาที่ท่านแสดงธรรมบนธรรมะเป็นต้นเพราะสิ่งก่อสร้างในวัดก็กลมกลืนกับธรรมชาติแล้วเป็นสิ่งที่ทำให้เราเข้าใจถึงตัวเองเข้าใจถึงธรรมชาติยิ่งมากขึ้นนั้นเราออกจากเมืองออกจากที่วุ่นวายสิ่งรอบตัวมีแต่กระตุ้นกิเลสทั้งนั้นก็มาอยู่ที่นี่นะไม่ใช่ว่ากิเลสหายแต่มองไปทางไหนไม่มีอะไรที่มันกระตุ้นความโลภความโกรธความหลงในจิตใจเราตรงกันข้ามนี่ก็คืออาคารที่เราน่าภูมิใจมากว่าวัดอภัยคีรีเป็นวัดที่สร้างไม่ได้สร้างเพื่อความใหญ่โตความมโหฬารไม่ได้เรียกว่ามหาศาลามหาเจดีย์และทุกวันนี้เมืองไทยเนี่ยทุกอย่างต้องเป็นมหาหมดเลยนะต่อไปข้างหน้านี้ก็จะไม่พอต่อเนี่ยอาตมาพยากรณ์ไว้นะต่อไปจะต้องมีอภิมหาเจดีย์มันก็จะเป็นอย่างนี้ไปเรื่อยๆครับแต่เราไม่ต้องการมหาอภิมหาต้องการพอดีอันนี้คำว่าพอดีมันแปลว่าอะไรสมมติลูกหลานแล้วถามว่าไม่เข้าใจคำว่าพอดีก็ดูวัดอภัยคีรีมองไปทางไหนเนี่ยนี่แหละคือพอดีไม่มีการอวดรู้ไม่มีความอะไรที่มันเกินพอดีอันนี้หลวงพ่อชาท่านก็สอนแล้วใช่ไหมว่าธรรมะคือพอดีอยู่กับความพอดีเท่า เราจะใช้ชีวิตอย่างไรจึงจะพอดีกินเท่าไหร่จึงพอดีนอนเท่าไหร่จึงพอดียกกำลังกายเท่าไหร่จึงพอดีเล่นไลน์เท่าไหร่จึงจะพอดีทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างมันเท่าไหร่มันจึงจะพอดีคือไม่ใช่ว่าพระจะบอกต้องเท่านั้นเท่านี้นะถ้าไม่ทำตามนี่จะเป็นบาปเป็นกรรมจะตกนรกแต่พระเรามีหน้าที่ชวนให้คิดชวนให้พิจารณาถามตัวเองใช้สติใช้ปัญญาของตัวเองว่าเท่าไรจึงจะพอเท่าไรจึงจะพอดีดังนั้นความเมื่อกี้นี้ก็พูดถึงเรื่องความดีความไม่ดีแม้แต่ในเมืองไทยใช่ไหมคนจะคิดว่าคนเขาเป็นคนดีนะแต่ไม่ค่อยจะทันโลกเขาจะว่าอย่างนั้นเลยในนักเรียนที่โรงเรียนปัญญาประทีปรุ่นแรกๆก็กลัวว่าเด็กจะดีแต่จบแล้วก็จะไม่ทันโลกเนี่ยก็จะคิดอย่างนี้ทำไมจะไม่ทันโลกสอนให้เด็กมีสติ ให้รู้จักบริหารอารมณ์ให้รู้จักอดทนให้รู้จักปลูกฝังฉันทะความพอใจในจิตใจมันจะเป็นอุปสรรคต่อวิชาการตรงไหนคนก็ไม่ค่อยคิดเพราะถึงแม้ว่าคนคิดอยู่ทั้งวันทั้งคืนอยากจะคิดให้เป็นเหตุเป็นผลนี่คนก็ขี้เกียจอยากจะตามกระแสความคิดเรื่อยเปื่อยมากกว่าแต่ถ้าเราดูแล้วความดีกับความฉลาดเป็นทรงหน้าของสิ่งเดียวกันดูที่ภาษาบาลีสิคำว่ากุศลรากศัพท์ของคำว่ากุศลคือโกศลแปลว่าฉลาดเพราะนั้นถ้าดีแต่ไม่ฉลาดแสดงว่าไม่ดีแท้แต่ฉลาดแต่ไม่ดีเรียกว่าไม่ฉลาดแท้เพราะความดีความฉลาดต้องไปด้วยกันเพราะนั้นนะ อย่างอาตมาก็เคยคุยกับชาวบ้านที่อุบลว่าเนี่ยคุณเนี่ยหลายแม่ออกพ่อออกแม่ออกหลายคนนะเป็นนักปราชญ์นะเป็นผู้มีปัญญามากกว่าด็อกเตอร์เสียอีกเขาหัวเราะเขาคิดว่าพูดเล่นแต่อาตมาบอกว่าเนี่ยเราจะดูความฉลาดจากการกระทำนะคือถ้าคนฉลาดจริงเนี่ยไม่มีทางที่จะผิดศีลแม้แต่ข้อเดียวนะฉลาดจริงถ้าเข้าใจเรื่องกฎแห่งกรรมเข้าใจหลักความเจริญหลักความเสื่อมต้องการให้ตัวเองเจริญไม่ต้องการให้ตัวเองเสื่อมไม่มีทางที่จะผิดศีลได้พอออกแม่ออกผู้ทรงศีลนั่นแหละนักปราชญ์ผู้ที่จบด็อกเตอร์ได้กินเหล้าเมายาทุกวันเป็นใช้ชีวิตอย่างประมาทไม่ใช่นักปราชญ์เลยก็เป็นเจ้าของปริญญาบัตรเท่านั้นเองนั้นก็ขอให้เราพิจารณาในเรื่องนี้ว่าความดีประกอบด้วยความฉลาดความฉลาดประกอบด้วยความดีมันเป็นสองหน้าของสิ่งเดียวกัน วันนี้เราก็มีโอกาสมาฉลองความฉลาดฉลองความดีของชาวอภัยคีรีซึ่งก็มาน่าชื่นใจมากสมัยก่อนเนี่ยเรื่องอีกเรื่องหนึ่งเรื่องปัญญากับความกรุณาในพุทธเจ้าตรัสรู้ด้วยอะไรตรัสรู้ด้วยปัญญาแต่เมื่อพุทธองค์ตรัสรู้แล้วพุทธองค์ก็เกิดความกรุณาก็อยากช่วยให้สัตว์โลกได้พ้นทุกข์ตามพระยุคลบาทของพระองค์เมื่อความกรุณาเกิดเป็นผลของปัญญาพระพุทธองค์ต้องใช้ปัญญาในการสั่งสอนในการแปลงสิ่งที่เนื้อภาษาให้เป็นภาษาสิ่งที่เดิมมันเป็นธรรมชาติให้มันเป็นระบบให้คนได้ศึกษาได้ปฏิบัติตามดังนั้นกรุณากับปัญญาถือว่าไปด้วยกันแยกออกจากกันไม่ได้ถ้าปัญญาจริงปัญญานั้นต้องแสดงออกในลักษณะของความกรุณาถ้ากรุณาจริงจะต้องใช้ปัญญาสองอย่างด้วยกันสิ่งที่อาตมาจึงว่าเป็นสิ่งที่เป็นสิริมงคลมากว่าคือคำว่าปัญญานี่มันมีคำอีกคำหนึ่งที่ใช้แทนมีหลายคำแต่คำหนึ่งคือญาณะต่อจากนี้ไปใครจะเป็นผู้บริหารวัดคือญาณิโกกับกรุณาธรรมโมมีปัญญามีกรุณาทำงานพร้อมกันมันเป็นสิ่งที่เหมาะสมมากอาตมาจึงขออนุโมทนาก็ขอให้วัดอภัยคีรีมีแต่ความสุขความเจริญยิ่งขึ้นไปกัน
สาธุสาธุสา